If you've never felt your chest working during the bench press, I guarantee you we're gonna fix that during this video. What's up guys? Kyle with Hypertrofit and PectusWarriors.com. Today, like I said, we're gonna fix the bench press. So if you have long arms, if you have a shallow chest, Pectus Excavatum, things that are rounding the shoulders forward, bad posture, all of these different factors that can contribute to the bench press really sucking for you, this is going to fix that by the end of this video, I promise you. So I am in the same camp. Bench press never really felt like it worked my chest. I would, on the best days, get a little bit of a pump, and on the worst days, just get pure shoulder pain. I'd be able to train it for a while, get stronger on it, but really, no matter what adjustments I was making to my technique or hand placement or anything else, I was not feeling my chest working. So I would kind of just mix it in as a strength movement, but other than that, it was not something that I could rely on to really grow. So why does this happen? I started to re-examine my technique, the movement of the bench press itself, and really dig into why don't I feel this when some people really love it and really get a lot out of it. And the first thing that you need to figure out is, where do you actually maintain tension in your pecs during the movement? So if you just simply hold your arm straight out, squeeze your chest, feel that working, you should be able to feel that contraction really strong right here. Start to lower that arm like you would in the form of a bench press and see where, if at all, that tension in the chest starts to go away or starts to shift into the shoulder. So in my case, I'm not necessarily losing a ton of tension here, but as I get deeper and deeper into that stretch, it's less my chest that I notice and more my shoulder getting into that deeper and deeper rotation. So knowing this and starting to analyze that, hey, at 90 degrees here, this is kind of where I start to lose tension in the chest and it starts to transition. I started to look at, well, how do we stay in that range of motion and get the most out of this exercise? You might think, start doing partials, and that is absolutely true, but it's not as easy to stay consistent with the rep range, especially as you get heavier and heavier. You might start cutting the reps shorter and shorter. So I wanted something a little bit more consistent than that. The next option you might look at is floor press, and that is actually a great one because you are going to pause your elbows on the floor every single rep, and it's going to give you a very consistent rep each and every time. The difference there is that you're not necessarily going to feel the load of the weight on your entire body at the bottom. And it's also not super progressible because you've just got one height. Your arms are one length, and so you're going to pause at the same spot every single time. It doesn't lend itself well to future progression. So how do we fix this? This is actually one of the simplest tools around. It's a bench block. I have no affiliation with this company. I literally just bought this off of Amazon. And this is going to completely fix the bench press for you because it has 4 different heights. And what this does is it attaches directly to the bar, because what we're doing here is we're mimicking a powerlifting movement called a board press. And this is typically something that you need a partner for. So you would have your stack of 2x4s here, laying it on your partner's chest, lowering the bar to that board, and then pressing. Because this attaches to the bench or to the bar, we don't have to have an additional person down here, though you should always have a spotter or at least set up in a safety rack with the pins or some sort of attachment that's going to protect you. But either way, the nice thing about this is that we have multiple heights built in. So instead of just being stuck at that single point that the floor press lays out for us, we have, in this particular iteration of the bench block, 4 different heights. The first step here is figure out, where do you maintain tension? So attach it to the bar and then explore a couple of these different heights. And this is going to work the exact same way as a normal bench press would. So you set up, take it out, pause on the chest, and then press. And you're going to feel the tension maintain itself throughout because we're not going to extend into the shoulders territory here. And what's nice about this is now you can just treat this like a normal bench press. There's nothing else that you need to change. And at the end of a training cycle, you can actually change the height of this, because if we're starting here, so I've got it on the 4.5 inch, which is essentially a 3-board press, we can take this off, flip it over to the 3-inch option, And now we're on a 2 board, and we're gonna be able to go 1.5 inches deeper. And this is another way to progress this movement so that when you get to the end of one training cycle, if you're able to feel a great pump throughout the entire process, now we can try to go a little bit deeper, get a little bit more of a stretch, and improve that active range of motion. So this is an absolute game changer for anyone, like I said, long arms, pectus excavatum, anybody that's struggling to feel the bench press, try this out. And if you're also trying to build muscle at the same time, I would highly recommend that you're tracking calories, tracking macros, making sure that you're bringing up enough of those nutrients into your body so that you're actually going to start to grow, because the training is what starts off the process, but ultimately you need to have the nutrition packed behind that. And the best way that you can track is with something like Macro Chief, the macro tracking app that I personally coded and continue to update every month. Set your goal, list your habits, and let the app take it from there. Mastering your nutrition has never been easier. Try it for free today on iOS. So that's all I've got for you today, guys. I hope this has been helpful. Give this a shot. If you've got any other tips or tricks for how you engage your chest during the bench press, or any other techniques or adjustments that you've made, tools that you've tried to allow that to work for you, put that down in the comments and help everybody else out here. So again, I hope you found this useful. Enjoy the video, and I will see you guys again next time.